So one of the most common questions that I get as an interior designer is to help homeowners rearrange their furniture or find the most ideal furniture layout for their space. Oftentimes this includes reusing existing furniture that they have, but also maybe selecting new pieces of furniture that will help complete the space. So I had a client recently who had a pretty long, narrow living room, and they were actually in the process of adding an addition on the back of their house to be able to extend this living area. Their family was growing and they just wanted a little bit more space. They also wanted a great indoor outdoor space that they could use for entertaining, and just wanted more of an adult like sitting area, and then kind of more of a play area for their kids. So when I was brought into this project, they were all already in the process of, they had gone under contract with a contractor, and he had already done all of the drawings, and they were in the process of starting this construction project. So they really just wanted my help understanding how the two spaces function together and how all of the furniture worked together. They had an existing sectional and sofa, as well as an ottoman that they wanted to keep. And they wanted to purchase some new furniture to fit into the space and make it flow well. And then they wanted some storage for functionality purposes, as well as they have a record player, so they wanted a space to keep that record player and really be able to enjoy that, because it was in a secondary space that they weren't already able to use it as much as they wanted to. So those were all of their requirements in this space, but I'm also just going to talk in general of when you have a larger living room like this, where you can't really get just like one seating area and you need a couple, but you also want them to function together as one large space, how that can be accomplished. So this photo is their existing living room as it was, and so this is their floor plan, so you can see it was just kind of a long space with a fireplace at the end, and they plan on keeping the fireplace in the location where it's at. So this is what their new space looks like in the floor plan. When they added that addition on, they added about 15 extra feet into the backyard to extend this living room. So you have the kitchen off to the right here. You have a bar that separates the kitchen from the existing living room, and then it flows up and out. There's a slider on this wall that exits out to the outdoor patio space. So we wanted to leave that walkway and flow from the kitchen. When they're entertaining, they can carry plates and platters out there, or people can really flow from the kitchen into the living room and up and out into the backyard. Now you can see in the new floor plan, you have one large living room. So how does furniture function in this space without being really far apart or not really functional? So they have an existing sectional, an existing sofa that they'd like to reuse, as well as an ottoman that they really like that they'd like to reuse. So let's take a look at a couple options when it comes to laying out these spaces. So when I was thinking about this living room layout, my first thought was, do I want it to function as two separate spaces that are all in the same room, or still two spaces but they can function as one when needed or when there's a lot of guests over at their house? So this first option I drew was to have it function as two separate spaces. So we have the existing sofa down here in the area in front of the fireplace that I would consider more of like the family play area, because it was right underneath the kids' bedrooms and the bedrooms upstairs. So this would be more of like the play zone, and then the addition would be more of like the adult zone where they could hang out at night and make a little bit of noise and feel like they weren't going to constantly wake up the kids. So that's kind of how I zoned these two spaces. And in the play area, I wanted it to be a little bit more cozy, a little bit more comfortable, and a little bit more casual, I guess I would say. The whole space was casual, but this zone in front of the fireplace is what I would consider just like a little bit larger furniture, better for, you know, cuddling up with the kids and reading them a story at night or whatever it is. So I reused the existing sofa here and added an additional sofa as well as an ottoman. And then in the addition area, a couple swivels, reusing that sectional, and then a table. You'll see throughout all of these options for a space for them to store that record player and their records. So this really functions as two separate spaces versus the second option, where in front of the fireplace you really do just have it open to the other space. You have a comfortable area where you can put up your feet, maybe watch the kids play, and then you have more of a seating area in that addition space. And then the third option I offered them was basically flip-flopping that. So using the existing sectional in the play area, and then creating more of a seating area with that sofa and a couple side chairs in the addition space. Again, keeping that table for storage of their records, and then a couple ottomans as well, reusing the existing ottoman and adding an additional ottoman or coffee table for storage. And then this last option is the option that they were drawn to the most, and actually I was too, because it's really creating one large space, and those chairs in the middle would be swivels. So depending on what the activity was, they could swivel around and be in the play area and conversate that way, but it also functioned as a seating area when they were hosting people and when they were just hanging out at night. So those were the initial options that I offered them, and we really talked through these. And when I lay out furniture options, sometimes I will lay out an option that I know is not going to work, and I know it's not going to be the most functional, but I would rather have that discussion and talk about why it doesn't work and say, you know, we explored all options. So at the end of the day, a client will feel like, yes, like this is the best option and we've seen everything else. So this first option that I offered them, where, you know, you have the dueling sofas and then an additional seating area, didn't feel like the best option for me because it's a lot of furniture for a space like this. But it also wasn't really the most functional option. But I wanted to show it to them so that we could talk through everything. So then the options that they narrowed it down to, they decided that they wanted the sectional for sure in the play area, and then to keep the swivels so that they could use both spaces interchangeably. They could be in the play area or they could be in the seating area. They have plenty of seating for entertaining, but they still get those 2 separate zones at the end of the day. So we added some area rugs to show that separation, and it has a nice flow. It's actually a photo that they sent me of the new living room space, and how the addition all turned out. So they don't have the furniture in yet, but I hope this helped you. Maybe it inspired you in your home, if you have a similar space that you're not sure really how it functions, and maybe it's always bothered you that you really couldn't get like a flow and a layout in a space like this. I think the swivel chairs are an idea that I've used quite a bit, in spaces like this, where it's just it's kind of an awkward space, and you want to have comfortable seating, but you also want 2 living seating areas to flow together. Swivel options are a great alternative to maybe blocking off the 2 spaces together. And follow along for more videos like this. I want to inspire you in your own home. Hopefully a light bulb goes off and you say, oh yeah, that's how I can fix that flow issue in my own home. And follow along for more videos like this. Thank you.